Welcome to the second episode of the Unmolded podcast, talking life from a deeper perspective as we step outside the box in conversation, creativity, and existence. I am your host, Airian Renee, and today with me I have a very special guest, someone who I wanted to sit down with and collab with for a while now. Shann, you are a trailblazer and you're a man of many talents. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself, tell the people who you are, where you're from, and what it is that you do.
So my name is Shann Wright. I'm from Compton, California. I have a platform and a clothing brand called Phenomenal Visions, and Phenomenal Visions is for basically all of the dreamers, the doers, the go-getters, the people that don't let outside things determine their future. So with a clothing brand, I want people to wear it and just have that in mind. Like my vision is so powerful that it will get done.
That's awesome. And I know you do a lot in your community and stuff. So, like, what led you to start Phenomenal Visions? Like, what was the motivation behind that?
Um, Actually, it started off from a prayer. So, me trying to talk to God, and I just wanted to hear His voice. And I'm like, yeah, like let me just hear your voice, let me hear your voice, let me hear your voice. And what ended up happening, I ended up going to the beach, and somebody ended up sitting by me, and they ended up saying everything that I was praying about. So I looked at it, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, man, you've been watching me, like, you've been watching me my whole life or something like that. And he said that God sends people to us in the form, or angels to us in the form of people.
Yeah.
And from that day, I was like, I need to record this.
Yeah.
And it just took off from there. So I just
Yeah.
started bringing the camera out, asking people questions about life, love, all type of stuff. And yeah, it's been going good.
That's awesome. And like, I know you're always in the community. You're always inspiring the younger generation,
Yeah.
inspiring people old and young. Like, when you started off with like Phenomenal Visions, did you see yourself like doing something where it'd be, on kind of like a global level? Because I feel like globally you are making an impact. I see you everywhere popping up on my For You page and all
It's
your
good.
content, you're consistent. So, what was the vision behind that?
I see myself, or with Phenomenal Visions, I see it being a like a community event one day where a lot of different vendors get to come out, and I would want everybody to have like a ticket and everybody gets something for free from these vendors. So I would just want to like cash out the vendors, and
Yeah,
then have everybody come to this event. But I'm all about spreading love.
that's
I
awesome.
feel that there's a lot of people thrilled by the spite. So, you see a negative video or anything, and those are the ones that's getting all of the attention now, sadly. So I'm just trying to change the narrative,
Yeah,
and I feel like I am. It's
yeah.
good seeing the kids smile, seeing other people smile, me walking into like a grocery store or anything, and then being like, hey, you're the person that did
Yeah,
the interview. So yeah, it makes me feel good, make other people feel good. So
that's awesome. Like, growing up, were you more of a leader or a follower, like as a kid and a young adult?
I was always the leader,
You were,
even
yeah.
if I was hanging around older friends and stuff like
Mhm.
that. Yeah, everybody would be like, so what are we doing today?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't straying anybody into like a bad direction. I just
Yeah.
liked having fun. Like, so let's play soccer on our bikes or something like
Yeah.
this. Like, let's go do this. Let's
Yeah.
dodgeball and just all type of little
Yeah.
stuff in the backyard or around the block. So
Yeah. I feel like you're the type of personality where people were drawn to you, just like you have that light, to where
yeah,
everyone wants to be your friend. That
yeah.
definitely, like, I see that light that just beams from you. And like growing
Thank
up,
you.
like when it comes to your upbringing, were there any people that influenced you? And if so, like, what was it that you took that has shaped you into like the man that you are today?
I would say everybody in my life has had something to do with who I am, whether it can just be like an interaction,
Yeah.
or like parents like mom, dad,
Mhm.
grandma, uncle, like
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be a long list, but yeah, everybody has something to do with who I am. Just seeing what type of lifestyle
Yeah.
that brought them up, whether it was me saying like I don't want that in my life,
Yeah.
or oh, I want that type of quality.
Yeah.
Like, like seeing my uncle like being like a go-getter and like not letting anything stop them. I want that type of quality, like my grandma being very spiritual. I want that type of quality, or like my mom being athletic, or yeah, anything like that.
It sounds like you have like a really good village around you.
Yeah,
And like being in Compton, are you like born and raised in Compton?
yeah.
Have you ever been anywhere else, like
As far as like traveling or living.
living and traveling?
Yeah, I mean, I travel. I've been in Japan, Mexico, Texas, Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Um, I've been in like Texas for like almost like 2 months.
Okay.
Vegas a few times. That's
Yeah.
like down the street almost.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
yeah, I've only stayed in Compton though.
Yeah, that's
So
your home base.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's home. That's home.
And you're giving back, and it makes sense because a lot of people, like, sometimes when they start getting big, they'll leave, leave their hometown
Mhm.
behind. But it seems like you're staying and you're building, and that's like so awesome.
Yeah, I will definitely be here. I'm here for sure.
Yeah.
I feel one day I will be known like around the world as
Yeah.
somebody iconic in Compton. So
Yeah,
you guys will see that.
he's making a global impact, y'all. I'm telling you. So. All right,
It's
and
gonna be good.
this isn't in my notes, but I do want to ask you because you're very, like I said, he's a man of many talents, so you're probably like super humble. I'm not going to mention everything, but you're also a poet or a lyricist. I don't know what you prefer, but like you're very talented. That's something that was really inspirational to me. A lot of like, that's actually, I think that's the first work that I saw you doing was your poets. Yeah, before I saw you out in your community, and I was like, wow. And it was the type of like poetry that you do in words. It's like a story that you like, stories that you tell, and it's just so deep and powerful. Can you
Yeah.
talk about that? Like, how did you get into that?
I got into poetry because my grandpa passed away.
Mm.
So they said, "Can you write something down for the obituary?" And when I did, they were like, "Whoa, he actually knows how to write." Because I let actually one of my counselors at Compton High, I let her read it. And when she seen it, she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna sign you up for the Compton open mic." And I was like, "What? I don't want to do no open mic, And but she signed me up anyway. She was like, "Nah, yeah, you got to be there." And then she announced it on the school like megaphone and stuff. Everybody, Shann's gonna be performing and stuff Saturday. So from there, it was like it just kind of started everything. But yeah, so it kind of was like a sad like story, coming up from like my grandpa passing, but it made something beautiful out of it,
Yeah.
which was good because a lot of times like when I'm performing now, I feel like I got way better from when I was like 19, 18 doing it. People are giving me reactions that I didn't really expect to have. So it's good when somebody is like genuinely writing me paragraphs like, "Man, that poem really touched me," or seeing people cry because even like with the interviews or something that I do, like I just walk up to random people. And so when they hear the poetry, everybody wants to hear one. So me saying it, I've seen people actually cry in front of me. And it's like, whoa, I didn't expect that type of reaction. Like, yeah, it was touchy to me when I wrote it, but I didn't know you would feel that. So now I wasn't such a big fan of my work at first. And then somebody ended up telling me that maybe it's not for you. Maybe you're writing for other people. And then it started making sense more because sometimes I probably didn't even go through that situation in the poem, but something came to me to say that. And then when I perform it, somebody else done went through that.
Yeah.
And so and before every time I write a poem, I ask God to bless me and give me the words to say. So it's been working. It's been working.
That's awesome. When I first heard your poetry, I was actually, it was last year, and I was in my hometown in a very tough situation, taking care of both of my grandparents, still dealing with grief of my mom passing. So when I heard your poems, like, they really touched me and moved me. And like what you speak on, it's just so profound and so deep. It comes from a very deep personal place. And when you share your heart with somebody, sometimes you don't really know who it's for. And so I can attest to that. I was someone who, did open up my phone, just what they call doom scrolling, and came across one of your poems. And it moved me, and I was just like, wow. I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but like, I was like, if I ever get to LA, like, I hope I can collab with him. And I never thought I would be in LA this year, so it's kind of funny. But yeah, that was my initial like encounter, like seeing you online and stuff, and I was just like, man, this is awesome. So just want to let you know, yeah, I was moved as well and
Thank
deeply
you.
impacted by your poetry, and I feel like it's a big part of what you do because you write from such a deep and profound place, and I think that's so awesome to be vulnerable like that, and yeah.
Yes, it's definitely been good. Now I've been in competitions now, and I've been winning them.
That
Like
is awesome.
so, I'm like I just won two of them back to back and stuff. So like now like the cash prizes, like I'm like getting a
Wow.
reward off of doing them now.
Yeah.
And July 17th, I believe, it'll be a big event in Long Beach. So
Okay.
somebody seen me, they was like, "You need to be a part of this," and then they were like, "Yeah, I gotta sign you up." So
July 17th. Where's it going to be at?
it's gonna be in Long Beach. I think
Oh,
at the Edison Theater, I
Edison
believe.
Theater. Awesome. And is there a place where people can listen to your poetry? Like, are you Apple Music, Spotify,
Hmm,
anything like that?
that's what I should do.
Yeah, like definitely,
That's
because I
what
could like pull up and just like listen to it while I'm driving, like
that's what I should do.
throughout my day. Yeah.
I'll do that today. I'll record everything today
Yeah.
and just try to get everything out there because I remember I was going to do that. I feel like I try to like juggle so
Mhm.
many things that you forget about
Yeah.
certain things to do, you
Yeah.
know. So yeah, that would definitely be good because I do want people to re-listen,
Yeah.
you know, to re-listen. And I definitely appreciate the people that do. So thank you guys.
Yeah. And I have a question. So, like, when it came to just getting into what it is that you do with like poetry and phenomenal visions and your community work, how have you been like navigating, like taking care of yourself and like your mental health and keeping the right people around you, you know?
Man, yeah, I guess like that's like the part that a lot of people don't realize. I think I maybe spoke about it to like certain close friends or something, but man, I could probably have like a bad day and then an event with the kids the next day. So it's like yeah, I feel like a lot of men like they don't really have anybody to talk to. That's why like it is important, the men's mental health month. But me navigating it, I said it in like poems before because I don't like drink or like smoke and stuff. So, I don't have a numbing to it. So whatever I'm dealing with, I'm at the beach just dealing with, and it's a pro and a con to it. The bad side is you're gonna feel whatever you're going through without any type of covering up or like the numbness. The good side is now you're learning how to deal with these things and you're not running away from it. So yeah, I can't run away from the problems or anything if I have a problem that I'm going through. But what keeps me motivated is like I know that the Most High has me and I'll be okay. So whatever it is, I will be okay. And that's just the way I walk around. I'll be okay.
Wow. And with it being like Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, it's June.
Mhm.
Just talking a little bit more about that. Like, do you feel like the more that you have on your plate, the more you do, is it harder to like manage your mental health, or does it help you? Like being that you're walking in your purpose and stuff, does that help you with just, you know?
Mm. If anything, I feel like the interviews actually make me feel good.
Yeah.
You know, going around or like when the kids are all like trying to surround the camera and they want to be interviewed and everything, or people just letting me know how good of a job I'm doing. It makes me feel good. So if I was having a bad day, y'all changed it all just like that. And it's on the path of everything that I got going on, like with the phenomenal visions and the interview. So me interviewing people makes me feel good, which then makes me feel better. So yeah, it's just like a big like happy circle basically.
Yeah. There's definitely something empowering and freeing about walking in like your God-given purpose. And
Yes.
so like even being out here in LA, like I just moved out 4 months ago
Oh.
and I'm doing so much better than I was just even like at the beginning of this year, because when you're like a lot of people, they don't know how to walk in their true identity. You have people that are stuck in these 9 to 5 jobs,
Yeah.
people that are given 8 to 12 hours a day to a job that they don't love, around people that they don't like, and they wonder why they're struggling with their mental health, they're struggling with their identity and their purpose, because a lot of people, it takes them so long to find it, and so it's never too late to like find that purpose and walk in it. So I can relate to what you said, like doing what God has called you to do, that does like feel really good. And, it reminds you of why you were put on this earth for sure.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, like you said, they are clocking into a job that they don't necessarily want to be at or they're happy with.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people are settling, so they'll
Yeah.
refuse to look for more. I feel like that there is always more out there,
Mhm.
but you have to, put the work in to try to look for more. But if you're okay where you're at, like let's say if I was at a coffee shop and there's certain people that's like, oh well, I'll retire from here, but I wanted to be a singer the whole
Yeah.
time. I wanted to be a rapper, and I
Yeah.
never even explored that opportunity. The regret in the future, I feel like is going to hurt you more than failing. Because at the end of the day, it's like, at least I tried, like,
Yeah.
well, I didn't give up and, I kept going because a lot of people, they got famous or they blew
Mhm.
up when they didn't really expect it. Like, there's rappers that's been rapping for years and then out of nowhere, boom, he made a hit song or anything. Or like Oprah Winfrey with her story, tragic, boom, blew
Yeah.
up. Abraham Lincoln, he ran for president a lot. He had a very tragic story and then became
Yeah.
president. So it's like all of the people that never gave up,
Mhm.
they eventually got to where they
Mhm.
wanted to be. So I don't want to be old one day and be like, oh man,
Mhm.
I wanted to do those interviews, but
Yeah.
I just stopped and
Mhm.
stuff. I would rather be like, man, hey, I kept going, and I finally got there.
Mm.
It's okay if I struggle along the way. I
Right.
know where I will be at. I know
Yeah.
where I will be. That's why everywhere I go, everywhere I perform, I let people know,
Yeah.
hey, you will see me again. You
Yeah.
will see me again for sure. It's going to be amazing one day when all of the kids I'm working with,
Mhm.
when they're like in their 20s or 30s and they can be like, oh, like Shann was the one
Yeah.
that, and then
Yeah.
I can do something for them, or me just seeing them on TV or anything, or them being the president or anything, because that's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
instill into them. Like, hey, you can be something special,
Yeah.
and I think somebody has to unlock that.
Mhm.
Because if you have somebody that's just speaking down on you, like, oh yeah, you're not going to be
Mhm.
anything, that's probably how you're going to feel. But
Mhm.
now if you have somebody that's like, you're going to be a star and I
Yeah.
see it and you're clapping for you and like, what, look at you.
Yeah. That's
It's going to
awesome.
make them feel good. And so, yeah, I feel like, give everybody a round of applause for
Mhm.
trying, for trying.
Yeah.
There's people out here really trying to make it happen. I'm trying to make it happen. You're doing your thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying. And
Yeah.
yeah, we will be where we want to be at if we
Yeah.
keep going, but we can't stop though.
So
If it
true.
gets hard, yeah, we absolutely can't stop. It's like
Yeah.
a hole kind of like, why would you stop when you fell down into
Mhm.
the hole? Don't you want to get out? So,
Yeah.
that's how I feel about it.
That's so true. And I used to always tell people like the valleys are so worth it because at the end of every valley there's a mountain. It's like it's worth the climb.
Yes.
And like if you want to impact the future, you got to impact the younger generation because they are the future. And so that's what you're
Yes.
doing. And like it's so important to like make your work outlast you, meaning doing something that's going to last even when you're not here.
That'd be
And so
amazing.
yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah, that's the
That's the
goal.
goal. That's the
I have an
goal.
interesting question to ask that just came to mind.
Mhm.
Would you rather, it's a would you rather question.
Okay, okay.
So, would you rather be given $1 million, but you have to work a 9 to 5 dead end job? You can't do what you want to do. You have to be clock in every day at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m., spend like 8 to 10 hours there. Or would you rather be given $1,000 and you can do whatever you want, whatever your dream is? There's no limit. You have access to resources, unlimited resources to pursue your dreams. Which would you choose? The $1 million route or the $1,000 route?
I'm gonna take the 1,000. I know the amount that I can just do with just like more access, But if I get tied down inside the box, because like you said, I have 1 million, but I still have to go clock in
Yeah.
and every day, so it doesn't even really seem like it because isn't the whole purpose of the money was freedom? I'm like, so
You
like
got
yeah,
it.
yeah. I'm like the whole purpose of us trying to make it to where we want to be is the freedom,
Yeah.
So that's why even like on my free time I was going around giving like my own money out to the kids, like just getting like probably like $300 up in all
Mhm.
ones and then just handing them out to the kids, because it made them feel good. But I was having them answer educational questions first. Like, okay, you have to tell me like what's 5 × 5 plus 6 or something like that. And then, if they answer, then I'll pay them, and stuff like that. But it made me feel good. And then, yeah, I'll get it back. Everything always comes back. That's the beautiful thing about, just giving and yeah.
Yeah. You'll end up having a lot more going the route of the $1,000. Like he said, like it's about freedom and time is something that you can't buy. It's something that you can't get back. And a lot of people are hyper focused on money or one thing. They give up their entire lives working for something and then they retire at an age where it's like, oh, I'm too old now to do what I really want to do. I'm too old to like travel like I want to, I miss these special moments, which you're never too old to travel, but you know what I mean? Like you're expected to work until you can't anymore. And it's like a reverse, like an Uno card. Like, oh, now it's too late. You can't really do anything with what you've earned.
Most definitely.
But if you spend like 8 to 10 hours a day doing what you love, imagine what you can accomplish throughout your life.
Most definitely. Yeah, I've talked to, because I go to the park and so the guy, he said, hey, man, yeah, you need to get a job, so you can be there and then so you can retire. I'm like, well, Jay, did you retire at like 63 and everything? I'm like, man, I got to wait until I'm 63, to get that big check. And I'm like, how much did you get? And he's like, yeah, like probably like around like 500,000, something like that and everything. And then when I showed him something, I'm like, I made probably like 100,000 in a month. And just doing like my avenues of the trading and everything. And I showed him. And he was like, what the heck? And I was like, yeah, man, it's a different time now. I'm like, yeah, we don't have to work there forever no more just to finally be 63 years old and then you start traveling. Man, now you're gonna be tired. You can't jump off a cliff no more into the water and everything and go bungee jumping and stuff like that. Like, I want to do all of that young. So I would rather just be happy, I'm taking my path and it's beautiful. Even the struggles are beautiful. If I had like a rough day or anything and then just talking to somebody on the street, it's a beautiful experience. And all of this will be a story one day. Hopefully they end up making a movie, but I know I'm gonna do something great. I just feel it. It's like something inside of me. I don't know what it's gonna be specifically, but it's gonna be great. It's gonna be phenomenal.
And you're already doing great things, so I'm just excited. But you're the type of person where I can see you just going up, like everything you do. I could tell, like that's not all that's in you. Like you have more to give.
I'm not slowing down at all.
Yeah, you have a lot of light that you share. Like y'all got to check him out when he's in the community. Everything you're doing, like you're very like consistent, and you just have that mindset. And so, yeah.
Most definitely.
So with it being Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, I'm going to share some statistics because I do want to talk to you about like the stigma around men's mental health and like solutions around like mental health care.
Gotcha.
So, okay, so this is from the ADAA, Anxiety and Depression Association of America. And it was sad because there's so many statistics, but these are just some of the main ones I want to talk about. So nearly 1 in 10 men experience depression and anxiety, but less than half receive treatment. And what's even more alarming is that men are 4 times more likely to die by suicide than women, even though women report more attempts and are often more diagnosed with depression. Firearms are involved in 50% of suicide deaths, contributing to a higher lethality among men. And suicide is also the leading cause of death among men ages 15 to 34. Men account for nearly 80% of all suicide deaths, and 60% of those men had no documented health condition. Over 6 million men in the U.S. experience depression annually, but it often goes undiagnosed. And then the last statistic is Black adults have the highest rates of mental health-related ER visits, indicating a lack of preventative care. So there's so many more statistics, but it was just like I felt just a pit in my stomach just reading all this stuff. But when it comes to like men's mental health and just what do you think are the stigmas around that?
I feel that there's probably more because you said 1 out of 10.
Yeah, that's reported. Yeah, 1 in 10 men experience depression and anxiety, but less than half receive treatment.
Yeah, I feel like there's more than 1. Yeah, so it'd probably be like maybe 4, possibly out of 10. with the mental health because like yeah, we don't really have anybody to talk to. Like who do you talk to after like a heartbreak? Who do you talk to after like, failing? And then I feel like social media has probably made a lot of more people depressed.
Yeah.
If we were to probably like stack like the statistics with the social media era versus like non,
Yeah.
I feel like social media has made comparison like the main thing, because this 21-year-old is rich and he has a Ferrari, he's doing all of this, and I'm over here at like the warehouse stressing and everything, and I don't want to be here. But yeah, I think I like posted something like probably like a few days ago, and I asked everybody, I'm like, man, have y'all ever had a hard day and kept going? I'm like because some people can be like, yeah, like I got a hard day and stuff like that, like at work, it was a customer or something, but like talking about like a hard day, like mentally, like you coming in and, or you do have kids to feed and stuff. And yeah, it's like, who do you talk to about that? Like who honestly do you talk to? I've done a post recently too, probably like a couple thousand people seen it. And, just looking at the comments, like they were just like, oh yeah, man, you just got to deal with it. Or like, it is what it is. Because I was saying something about Father's Day. I'm like, how do fathers supposed to feel? Because I feel like, the Mother's Day, we go hard for the mothers and stuff, but shouldn't everybody go like the same amount for the fathers? Because aren't the fathers important? Everybody says that the father's important, but when they are present, I don't feel like they get enough affection, or truly appreciated. So maybe we need to, we need to do
Change
something
that
about
stigma around it. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like the women do have it easier because just like that social construct of like, oh, women are allowed to be emotional because they're emotional, they're allowed to be in their feelings. But men, if they show any ounce of that, like it makes you weaker or it makes you seem overly sensitive. And that is like so false because I feel like the strongest men, really masculine men, they know how to express their emotions, how to also manage them, but also show that side of themselves. And a lot of men just don't know how to do that because of just like, I don't know if it's just the stigma around that, like, oh, you can't because you're a man. And that's like so false. It's teaching young boys how to like not control emotion because a lot of times that misplaced emotion, or if they're struggling or having a hard time, instead of talking about it, it ends up translating into like anger or irritability or different things.
Yeah, they're gonna snap. They're gonna
Yeah.
eventually break because it's just like pressure, and then finally, they'll snap. And can you blame them? Because they haven't been surrounded by love. They weren't surrounded by people that they could talk to. So all of this was just them just dealing with it in their own head, and I feel like it's very sad, so
Yeah, it is.
I definitely want to make a change with that. I was just thinking about like what can I do about it, but yeah, I've been planning some things. I have like a few events where I will be talking to like young boys, like teenagers and stuff. From, like the ages of like 14 to 18 and stuff, and I feel like it kind of starts from that age. So making sure that they're not comparing themselves to others and making sure that they doing something that they really, really want to do. But like I said, you have personal things like relationships and stuff. Who does a teenager talk to after a relationship? Especially if they don't have their dad in their life or anything, or their mom just doesn't want to hear it, or they don't feel as comfortable because you wouldn't really feel that comfortable, telling, oh, mom, man, yeah, she cheated on me, you wouldn't feel comfortable telling your mom that, unless y'all had that type of connection. But other than that, yeah, they just deal with it by themselves, and it's kind of like a poison. When you're dealing with all of that pain by yourself and stuff, it's like a poison, just growing. And then eventually, like I said, you'll hit that breaking point. So we need to prevent that breaking point because, like you said, it causes suicides.
Yeah.
I've talked to one of my friends recently, and something happened with him in a relationship. And he was like, I'm not saying like I commit suicide. He's like, but I thought about it. I've heard multiple of my friends, probably like off the top of my head, I can think of 3 friends that brung up suicide to me. They were like, I don't like I ain't gonna do it, but I can see
Mhm.
why people. But from them even saying that to me, it's like,
Mhm.
man, something
Yeah.
wrong. I asked one of my friends, "Are you okay?" one day, and so he's
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, I'm good." I'm like, "Are you sure?" And then he started breaking down
Yeah.
crying. Somebody asked me that the other day, like probably like some years ago. I was working the job and stuff like that, relieving somebody, and
Mhm.
she was like, "Sean, are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah."
Mhm.
I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm, "Oh,
Mhm.
I'm what?" So it's
Yeah.
like, like certain things, we kind of just like hide, but yeah, the pain
Yeah.
be there. Pain to be there most definitely. And I feel like guys need a better outlet on
Mhm.
how to, just
Yeah.
let it out without it being an angry point or a
Yeah.
suicide,
Mhm.
like without cutting the lights off completely,
Yeah.
but it can't just keep on being up inside a bottle, man. That glass bottle is going to shatter if you
Yeah.
keep on adding to it. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Every man should be asked, "How are you doing? How are you feeling?" And I like that you said someone asked you that and you asked another person because that is so important. I
Yeah.
think it's okay to be able to sit there and cry and like let it out because life is tough.
Yeah.
Life it be life and sometimes
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. Life is the only thing
yeah,
it doesn't care about how your day went.
yeah,
The reason why life is hard is because no matter what you dealt with, so it can be a family death or anything,
mhm,
life is going to be like, okay, you still have to wake up the next day and
yeah,
you still have to keep on going. So it's a
mhm,
beautiful thing and a bad thing. The bad thing is you still have to go and there is no, hold on, let me get myself together
yeah,
first and then I can continue. No, life is just going to keep on going.
mhm,
Now, this is the good thing. It keeps on going. So you are able to change and you are able to
mhm,
feel better and you do
yeah,
get that another day. So if you did make a
mhm,
mistake yesterday, you have today or tomorrow to fix it,
yeah,
and to just go on like a better little path,
yeah,
learn from your mistakes and then you grow from them. But yeah, life
mhm,
life isn't going to slow down for any of us. That's
yeah,
why I'm like, man, I can't keep on waiting, talking about like, oh yeah, man, I want to do the interviews. I gotta
yeah,
go do them. I gotta go do them. So like the biggest ones that I was doing, that was a day when I was just sitting in the bed and I'm like, man, I don't really feel like it. I'm
mhm,
like, man, you got to get up. And I was like, all right, man, just get up.
yeah,
I didn't even have a cameraman. I just posted on Instagram. I need somebody to hold the camera. Then my friend called
yeah,
me, hey, you need me? And then we went over there and then it
mhm,
was a beautiful thing, but I pushed myself. So, but a
yeah,
lot of people don't have that. They don't have that type of
yeah,
push, so that's the sad part.
mhm,
So I feel like asking somebody, how's your day going?
mhm,
How are you? It'll make them
yeah,
feel better and be like, okay, like, that did make me feel better. And then they can have that extra little push during their day,
yeah,
throughout their day. So that's how I feel about it.
absolutely. And if you don't mind me asking a personal question, like, has there ever been a time in your life where you were in like deep depression or you were at your lowest point? Like, when was that? And like, how did you get out of that? Because I know we've all experienced like low, low points in our lives.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I was sad off of
Mhm.
relationships before, because nobody trains us for a heartbreak.
Have you ever been in love? Was it one of those
Yeah, yeah,
situations?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I was in love.
Mhm.
And then, separated from that and stuff. But like I said, you don't get okay, here's a book on how to feel at
Yeah.
it's just gonna happen and everybody takes it a little different. So
Yeah.
that a recent one, I felt like I was on top of the mountain, like
Yeah.
all the way at the high, and then I got knocked down out of
Yeah.
nowhere. So it made me kind of just like messed up in the head. I'm like, whoa, like, man, I was just doing so
Mhm.
good, just doing so good. And then I kind of got knocked down. So I was like, man, you know what? All I want to do is just go be with my son. So I went to
Mhm.
Atlanta and stuff like that for a month.
Yeah.
And I was just with him. I'm like, let me get my spirit back right,
Yeah.
because I still do believe in my head that I will be okay. But,
Mhm.
oh, man, sometimes the day be hard,
Yeah.
sometimes the
Yeah.
day be hard. So, and I couldn't let that type of pain or like them type of
Mhm.
thoughts win, because
Yeah.
I believe like whatever you truly feel, that will
Mhm.
happen. So if you
Yeah.
keep on saying like, well, my life sucks and I don't have the money and I can't afford it, that is how your life will be.
Yeah.
You know, we speak stuff into existence. So that's why I keep on saying, yeah, I will be at the top. I will be great. I will be phenomenal, you know, but dealing with that sad moment, it taught me a lot about myself.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is what I needed. You know, this is what I needed. Everything happens for a reason. I have so many stories about like that saying in general, like everything happens for a reason. So I'm like, okay, this happened for a reason. I needed to be knocked down. Maybe I was too big headed. Maybe I wasn't humble enough. Maybe this, maybe that, you know, but that's just how I felt at that moment. So now I'm just looking at it like, oh wow, like yeah, it was beautiful. You know, it was beautiful. I was laughing. I could probably be laughing up in tears or anything, but I'm like, okay, yeah, I know that God has a plan for me, you know, and he has me, he ain't let me go. So I'm like, whatever this is, all right, come on, man, I'm with it. You know, like, all right, we're still on the path. We're still on the path. But yeah, the path isn't always pretty, you know. There's gonna be some days where it rain. And, you know, that's how we get the flowers. That's how we get the life and stuff like that. That's what brings the soul out. If you ain't have no type of pain behind anything that you're doing, or it's not no real type of growth. You know, I'm like, even like the roses, they got the thorns on them, you know, but they all started from the dirt.
Yeah.
And it was probably a muddy day that day, but and then it created something beautiful. So, you know.
Whew, that's such a powerful outlook. I love that, that mindset.
Thank you.
And I always like tell people it's never a failure if you learn from it. It's not an L. The only L it is a lesson learned, and that is valuable. And like, wow, that's something really good.
Definitely, yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about fatherhood because June, we also have, you know, Father's Day in the month of June. And I know you touched on it a little bit earlier, you know, that men and fathers do not get nearly the same type of credit that mothers do. And I can definitely agree with that. I believe that that's a societal thing as well. Like fathers are so important in the homes, and not just in the homes, but just in the lives in general, whether you live with your child or not, just like an active father and just having that presence there. Like we can't make men vanish from society. And I hate it when I see stuff like online or you see the extreme like feminist groups, I won't get into all of that, where they're like trying to literally like make men disappear. I'm like, no, like we need strong men because there are children and young men who are going to be looking up to the men in our community for when they become a men. They're going to be leaders, you know, and just very important in our community. So like when I see that, it's just like, oh, they have it all wrong. Like fathers are important, you know. So can you talk to me a little bit about what fatherhood means to you? And
fatherhood means to me that you're not just doing it for yourself anymore. I feel like because when people see that, well, I had a kid at 20, you know, so people was like, you know, that was kind of young and everything, and they looked at it as a bad thing. But yeah, I don't know the type of things I was going through at that time, but I know it slowed everything down. It was like, oh wow, like I have somebody over there calling me dad. I have somebody that feels comfortable with me. Somebody that like when they touch me, they go to sleep. You know, so it gives you a bigger push. You know, it gives you a bigger push. And then I feel like fathers are the only people in the world that genuinely want to see somebody be better than them. You know, because I've even like grown up in Compton and stuff like that, or just like hearing, you know, through social media and stuff, like there are parents that probably talk about the kid or put them down or anything. I've seen mothers do it. You know, you're not going to be this, you're not going to be anything, you know, and all of this. I feel like majority of the time, we could probably say like 90 or even higher, a dad wants to see his son or daughter do better than him in life. You know, so that's why he grinds so hard to put them through school or to put them in better positions that they have, because I feel like a lot of the times, like especially back in the day, the dads weren't there, and I feel like around this time we are the most present fathers. So that's just like me just looking out the outside, like, you know, I feel like there are the most present fathers now. So yeah, we're definitely doing that thing.
That's awesome. And I know you mentioned that like being a father has made you kind of slow down and realize it's not just about you.
Yes.
So like when it comes to being a father, what do you think is important to like instill in a child, like from a father's perspective? Like, what are your main focus in like, rearing up a child and stuff?
Being a leader,
Mhm.
not following the crowd,
Mhm.
um, being able to protect somebody,
Mhm.
you know, having that type of empathy for others.
Yeah.
I wanted to teach my son that, just because you see like a homeless person or something like that, I don't mean you
Yeah.
call him a bum or anything.
Mhm.
You don't know what this person has been through.
Yeah.
I talked to a homeless person and he lost his mom and his wife in the same week. What does that do to your mindset? He didn't want to go to work anymore. So imagine that, and then if somebody's calling him a bum or something like that, y'all don't know what he been through.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know what he been through at all. So the empathy, the protection, love, and I want my son, and he already said it, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm done. I'm like, all right, like if I die, I'm good. But I wanted my son to say, I want to be like my dad when he grew up. So when I
That's
asked him
awesome.
like randomly, I was like, what you gonna be when you grow up? I'm like, you wanna be like a firefighter or something like that? He like, no. He like, I wanna be like you.
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
awesome.
I
That
was,
has to be the best
I
thing,
was
right
like,
there.
what? I was like,
Yeah.
wow. He was like, you cool to me. I was like, hmm. I was like,
Wow.
okay, like but and I'm like, man, like he don't even know I'm gonna do so much more, but
Yeah.
just hearing that,
Mm.
that probably made my life.
Yeah.
Like I ain't gonna say it made my day. That probably made my life. Just hearing like, okay, your little one wants to be just like
Yeah.
you. So
Wow.
now I know somebody's watching me now. Whatever I do. He
Yeah.
seen me playing the piano. He start getting on the piano and everything. If he see me singing, then he starts singing
Yeah.
or anything. So it's like somebody is watching you. So
Mhm.
like being a father, I
Mhm.
feel like, man, just know like your kid is watching you,
Yeah.
and they're looking up to you. You are the role model
Mhm.
until
Yeah.
you do something and for them to stray off. So,
Yeah.
so hopefully you don't do that. But yeah,
Essentially, you're like the blueprint that they take
yeah,
with
you are
to
the
the world.
blueprint. Yeah,
Yeah.
you are the blueprint. But if they see something, they're like, "Oh, I don't want to be like my dad,
Mhm.
that'd kind of
Yeah.
hurt your feelings, if your kid was to be like, I don't want to be like you,
Mhm.
you're like, dang, what I do,
Yeah.
But so when they say, I want to be just like
Mhm.
you when I grow up, that
Yeah.
feels amazing. It
I
feels
bet. I
amazing.
can only imagine. I bet it feels like you're doing something right.
Yeah, and that was before I was even doing everything, like,
Yeah.
so it was like, man.
Wow.
So now, like, that's why I'm like, yeah, when he grows up, he's gonna see all of this. He's gonna see
Mhm.
everything. And I'm be like, man, yeah, your daddy used to do performances.
Yeah.
I done interviewed this people, celebrities, all type of
Yeah.
stuff, podcasts, and he's gonna see all of this one day.
Do you feel
So
like that's motivation for you? Like if your son can see you like chasing your dreams and doing everything
yeah.
you're called to do, that you're essentially like really teaching him as well. Like if he's like, oh, like my dad did this and he didn't let anything hold him back. Like just living your life the way that the Most High has called you to. Like
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yeah. I'm writing a book for him. It's called the Book of Josiah. That's his name
Uh,
and stuff. So I was just writing down a whole bunch of stuff that I want him to know.
yeah.
Basically, just like important like life facts and like, hey, like this is what you should do if this happens. Because
Mhm.
like I said, a lot of the times the young man we grew up with no type of guidance.
Yeah.
So if I'm able to just give him something, and he could probably pick a page or something like that, like, oh, like what did my dad say? Because he'll know that it's coming from me,
Mm.
all of these words. And yeah, one day, when he's probably a teenager or like even older, he'll get the book and he'll be like, oh, wow. Like, yeah, man. So yeah, he was feeling sad too.
Yeah.
So, I'm just letting him know like life can be hard, but keep love. It can be
Yeah.
beautiful as well. So
That's
I'm gonna
awesome.
steer him. He's
Oh,
gonna be raised well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a good father. And I want to
Peace.
share like a few statistics about the importance of having men in the home and like, or just not in the home, but like fathers involved in their children's life.
Okay.
Okay. Because people don't like, society doesn't realize that having an active father doesn't just affect the family, but it's beneficial like for the community. So I have chicken scratch writing and I kind of ran out of time. So hopefully I can get through this. But um, let's see. Okay. So children with an active father are 80% less likely to be incarcerated, 75% less likely to Sorry, hold up. Okay. They're 75% less likely to experience teenage pregnancy. Um, and then when it comes to active fathers being around their sons, it highly reduces behavioral issues in boys, and it also decreases delinquent related issues. Having fathers that are involved with their daughters and close to them, it promotes greater emotional security, higher self-esteem, and decreased psychological issues for both boys and girls. So that's really powerful. And there's also another statistic I didn't write down, but there was a study that shows kids with active fathers, they're more likely to get A's and they succeed in school and are more likely to go to college. So it reminds me of what you were saying about just like pushing and motivating them and leading them. Like,
That's definitely.
yeah, like men play a huge role in that leadership and helping kids step outside of their comfort zone. And so, yeah, but that was just some statistics that shows a lot of sometimes issues that we have in society can be, related to there being a lack of fathers, a lack of a healthy male leadership. Because like when you think about it, like even with gangs, like how many of those gang members probably have active fathers in their homes? You know what I'm saying? Unless their fathers are in a gang as well, that's different. But a lot of times, there's just so many things that comes with being like an active and a present father where it's like mothers are amazing. I was raised by a single mother, but she also taught me like the importance of like trying to like build a relationship with like my dad. And she was very close to her father. She had both of her parents in the home and she was a daddy's girl. Her and her father were really close. Yeah. And so I'm thankful for that because like generationally, she passed down to me a healthy view of like men and fathers because she had that. Now, even though I didn't have it, her and my dad, they were married, but they were divorced. And so, my mom ended up raising the 6 of us. And it was just, I believe for her, she was like a strong woman. She was a woman of God, but because she had a healthy like father figure in her home and she was very close to her dad, she never for 1 second like talked down about like my dad not being present. She was never like, oh, your daddy ain't this or that, which I hear a lot of people talk about like their children's father. And it's
They
just
put
so
him
unhealthy. Yeah, it's like really toxic. Like I always cringe when I see those posts on Father's Day. You know which one I'm talking about? Where they're wishing like the women happy Father's Day. And it's like, ladies, like, come on, you gotta heal. You gotta heal from that because even if a father's like not there, like that doesn't mean that they're not needed. And so I feel like it teaches kids like, oh, like I don't need this or I don't need that. But growing up, like not having an active father, it made me realize there were certain moments in my life, several moments, like I won't get into it now, where I could tell like, oh man, like, yeah, I probably, need a dad right here. I need a dad in this moment. And thankfully, my mom, she filled, a lot of roles and showed up where she could. But after her passing, that was, I would say, probably the last significant moment in my life after she passed. And I realized I was like, man, like I really need this. I really need that. And although like relationships are a two-way street, I really had to like let God come in and fill that void. But it also made me realize like, wow, like, fathers really are important, active fathers and active parents. And so your son, he's very blessed to have someone to look up to like you. But and I'm very blessed like that. My mom, she instilled in me like what it means to just like respect people that you love and hey, like still need to try your best to like pursue a healthy relationship with this person and that because she knew the importance of healthy male leadership. She knew the importance of fatherhood. So I thank her for that. But it also like I hope women and other people can see like society that men, they are just as important when it comes to parenting a child. Fatherhood is just as important as motherhood, if not more, because they are ultimately created to be leaders and definitely like give a blueprint of life, I believe, to children that you pass that down. And so, yeah, I think it's amazing what you're doing, the visions that you have for your son and the foundation you're laying down for him. He's going to thank you. Like when he gets older, yeah,
Most
he's
definitely.
blessed.
I'm sorry to hear that about your mother as well. And yeah, like touch on the topic when you said like when Father's Day comes up and then the mothers are like resenting the father or like, just bashing him or something like that. I've seen situations with like some of my friends, they are good fathers, but since they're not together anymore and then he moved on probably with another girl, she keeps the baby. So they use the baby as like a weapon.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that's messing up society as well. Like when people use the baby and like, okay,
Yeah.
well now you can't see him because you're with her, or she can't
Yeah.
make sure she's not around my baby or something like that.
Yeah.
It's bitterness,
Yeah.
the bitterness. And when you also said that if a father is gangbanging and then their son is joining this stuff, that's probably like the dumbest thing that you can do as a dad for sure. Invite your son to that type of life because obviously what comes from it, you have death or jail, or you're gonna have a record or something like that. It's nothing that's gonna come from it that's good. I tell my friends all of that all the time. People know like I don't agree with the gangbanging thing at all, at all. So for you to try to put your son into that type of lifestyle, it's like, do you want to see him dead? Do you want to see your son hurt? Because why would you even push that on him? But yeah, I've seen that even like with cousins, their dads over there introducing them to it, like, oh yeah, he about to be from the set, or something like that. And it's like, why would you do that? Like, you got shot at before. You want your son shot at. You got shot before. Do you want your son shot? It's like you really don't care, or you're signing them up for death.
Right. So it's important not just having an active father, but like a healthy, like
Yes,
active father.
a healthy, active father. Yeah.
And like I was reading a study where there were youth that were saying that they had an active father in the home, they were less likely to try like illicit drugs, less likely to drink, less likely to get into like risky behaviors and activities. And so it really is important, like having that healthy example. But if you're in your home and you're still like gangbanging, or you had kids and you haven't changed your life around, you're still living like you're single and have no care in the world, and you're sitting there, drinking in front of kids, you're passing them, whatever it is you're smoking or doing, like they're living in an environment where that's okay. And so when they become an adult, they're adapting to it. So it's good to like you said, your whole world completely changed when you had a son, things slowed down. And I love that you use it slowed down to where it's like things are kind of put into perspective for you, where it wasn't just you anymore, but it's like you have this whole other life and human being looking up to you.
Yeah, beautiful thing for sure. I just hope everybody actually is pursuing their goals and pursuing their dreams, whether it seems hard. There are so many avenues and there are so many resources that we have now for like the social media age. Like you can literally just probably look it up on Google or anything, or ChatGPT will tell you how to do it. There's so many things that will help you guys. I feel like a lot of people just need to start putting in the first steps, towards that. So, and it's never too late, for your dreams to come true. I definitely feel that. Even I remember it was a story about is it Marie Callender's or something like that, like the pies or something like that. But all the way until she was 40, then it blew up, But like she kept trying, and a lot of people are getting the recognition that they wanted, from keep trying. Like even me, like I'm here now. I didn't think that I'll be on a podcast this month, So I thank you for bringing me here. Like this is amazing. It makes me feel good every time, So just keep on pursuing. Make sure you guys don't stop. That's the main thing. Consistency. Just don't stop. And consistency doesn't mean perfect. If you're trying to build something or anything, doesn't mean it has to be perfectly straight. But just know that you're going up still, though. You're going up, So yeah, that's something that I wanted to add.
I love that. And just to close it off with like mental health awareness, what is something that you would say to maybe a teenage boy who's maybe struggling right now, or even like maybe a young man who's having a hard time with their mental health, they don't know where to turn to, or maybe they've been through a tough breakup? What advice would you give them, like steps they could take?
First of all, you should be in a location where you are free to think. I can't really think in the room, I feel like the four walls, are like boxing in my thoughts or something like that. Step out to the park, like get some fresh air. If you can, try to go to the beach, just sit down or take a walk, But whatever feeling that you're feeling, the dominant feeling will win. So try to suppress that negative feeling, if you are having a bad day or anything, make sure that dominant feeling is always positive, you know, whether it's in the future or not. I know the day might be hard or like that moment might be hard, but it's not your forever. It doesn't define you. That bad day, that bad moment, it doesn't define the rest of your life. So yeah, I hope that people understand that it's like it's really whatever you think. Whatever you think shall be. So if you want a change, you know, just have that feeling and assume that it's done. You know, assume that you're already good. If you want that better relationship, have that feeling. Like imagine yourself already being in that better relationship. You know, and it'll happen. It's crazy what like the mind and the subconscious mind can do. So yeah, you guys are able to manifest whatever you want.
Manifestation is so powerful.
It
So
is.
true. And it's okay to cry too. As a man, it is okay to cry. Even if you're by yourself, just like sit, talk to the Most High. Like there's been so many moments I've been by myself and I've learned to cry and to be okay. Like my health coach told me there's like certain chemicals in tears like that relieve stress. And so once I found that out, I was like, okay, I'm gonna cry. I was like, I'm crying for a couple of days and just letting this out. So that is okay. Just learning how to sit and manage your emotions. And then when it comes to fatherhood, is there any advice you have to fathers, maybe single fathers, or those who might be in a position where they're struggling to see their sons or to try to maintain just a relationship? Any advice you want to give to the fathers out there?
Advice to the fathers. I would say, well, first of all, just know that your kid looks up to you and they are looking at you as the blueprint, like we said. As far as like a relationship, um, kids love their dads. You know, kids love their dads no matter what. Man, their daddy can be doing anything. He can be drinking or something like that. You know, they'll probably be like, oh man, my daddy's so silly or something like that. Or he always going to sleep up in the chair and stuff. So like they have this innocent mind, you know, that they always see you as pure no matter what. Until they, you know, they grow up and then they start seeing stuff. But even after that, like, man, kids love everybody love their dad. You know, they love their dad. So trying to get a relationship with them, if nobody's blocking you, then it's all on you at that point. You know, you put the effort in to talk to your baby. You know, that's your kid. You know, but if it was like something involving like the mom or anything, just blocking them, I feel like a conversation really needs to be had without bashing each other or without you bashing her and just saying like, hey, I know me and you don't see eye to eye anymore, but you know, I will really, really love to build this connection with my kid. You know, like I brung he or she into this world as well, and I don't want them to live without me. You know, and then just them being open about it. Just them being open about it. I feel like that should let somebody's guard down to be like, okay, like all right, yeah, we can work something out. But you know, everybody's different. You know, but I truly hope for the best, absolute best for all the fathers out there. So,
And that's awesome advice.
thank you.
So thank you for joining me on this podcast. You are a trailblazer. I mean, you're making a global impact, and I hope this isn't our last and only time sitting down. Hopefully, you know, we can do for these sit downs.
I'll definitely be back.
Yes. And so shout out like your social media, like where people can follow you at, and
I
so
have
see more of you.
2 Instagrams, divine.sean. That's mainly where I post like my poetry or any other little events and stuff that I have going on. And then Phenomenal Visions is my brand. So that will be the clothing, that'll be the interviews, that'll be all of the stuff. And you guys will hear about Phenomenal Visions.
Yes. Follow him. I mean, he's, like I said, a man of many talents. So you'll be very, very blessed and inspired greatly by the work that Shann's doing. And if you want to see this full episode, you can get it on Apple, Spotify, on YouTube, and also we are going to be streaming on Uplift TV network.
Good.
So stay tuned. There's going to be more episodes coming, and hopefully you'll see Shann again. But follow his social media pages. You won't be disappointed. So
Thank you.
thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.